Master Series, Pro 1, aligning to the nistle. So from the master's perspective, what I want to call to your attention is that there is some detail that can go along with your previous instruction for aligning to the nistle. Well, that's exactly 100% right, but let's embellish that just a little bit. Let's add to it. Let's add a little insurance. Insurance for what? Insurance that you're going to align to the half ball. For this 30 outside, the nistle is my center, my target, based on this outermost edge here. Now, when I align to this nistle here, I'm going to have unequal halves. There's another playlist that's going to give you a very thorough education on unequal cue ball halves. But in this case, this half of the cue ball is going to be thinner. You might be able to see the depiction of this by way of camera. This is a little thinner, a little lighter. This is a little thicker and a little heavier. And the implications are huge once you understand what's happening. Because once you get the center, you have other options. You can go thinner, you can go heavier, you can go touch it inside, you can go touch it outside. But I don't know how in the world you can use touch it inside or touch it outside unless you understand unequal halves. Because you're always going to be confronted with unequal halves that can occur on either side of the cue ball, which can be a positive factor or a negative factor. So unless you understand this positive and negative aspect that constantly present itself to you, then how can you know how to effectively use touch of inside or touch of outside? So that's for another playlist, but I do want to encourage you to educate yourself on this. This is just another advancement that center to edge has fostered for you through my eyes, because I'm looking through the correct window for how this game is really played, for how this game is really seen. It's not because I'm brilliant or anything like that. It's because I'm looking through the right window. The center to edge window gives you the correct view of how you should be seeing these balls. So when you look through the right window, which we're not conventionally taught to look through the correct window, when you look through the correct window, you actually see and learn and discover that the cue ball halves are unequal. Well, if we have unequal halves, then it's very important that you know how to align to them. This is the 30 outside. So rather than just do my sweep to the nistle, I'm going to add a little insurance to help me align to the half ball based on this outermost edge. So I'm going to do something that is just a little bit of a distant cousin to basic CTE. I'm just going to slightly make sure I turn my tip into the nistle from this side. So when I do my sweep to the nistle, I'm just going to slowly turn my tip into this side here. That gives me insurance that I'm aligning my tip to center based on this edge, which I identified here during Pro 1. As far as aligning to the nistle, in Pro 1, at this stage, I don't want anything to do with this half of the cue ball. It's irrelevant. This is a half ball alignment system. And yes, the pros are doing it, but have not been able to explain it. So once again, when I slide into this, I'm going to be very careful to turn my cue into center based on this half of the cue ball, because I want a good half ball alignment, because I'm dealing with unequal halves. Now let's turn this into a 30 inside. So I think that should do it proportionally. So I'm going to flip this around, and now this is going to be the thin side, this is going to be the thick side, and it makes a difference. So, for this particular 30 inside, I'm not going to do this rotation, I'm going to do this rotation to get to the half ball nistle, to my half ball alignment. See, it's very important that I get to the half ball alignment. I don't want my tip in the middle of those two edges. I want my tip at the center tick target based on this outermost edge here that I identify here. So I can add a little bit of insurance to this alignment as well. So when I do my bend here for this 30 inside, I can just slowly allow my tip, deliver it slowly, deliberately, purposefully, just come to this side and come back to center. It's something that you would likely not notice or observe if you were to watch me engage in play. But if I were to do it, it might be something like this. So you probably didn't see that. But I'm aware of it. I saw it. The action, visually and physically, allowed me to align to the half ball based on this edge. So there's a little bit of basic CTE here, but it's not basic CTE. It's just insurance that helps me to align to the half ball, because it does make a difference. I'm dealing with a thinner side here. I'm dealing with a lighter side. I don't want anything to do with this side over here. It's irrelevant for this stage that I'm engaged in here. So when I bend over, this can be something like this. It's very subtle. It's very subtle. It's nothing that's unnatural. In fact, it's very natural. Just to come right across there and align like that. Nobody would ever look at you and say, wow, look at what he's doing. He's moving his cue in an odd and different manner. So, you may want to tie this video in to a study that goes along with my other playlist, Half Ball Education and Application, which I'm going to be developing very soon. So, to align to this half ball, there can be a slight crossing of the line and turn back to center. Now, does that mean you have to do that? No, it does not. You can go straight to the nistle. Once you've identified the nistle, you know where it is. So this just helps you along a little bit to make sure that you're aligning to a half ball alignment. And in this case, you're dealing with the lighter side, the thinner side, versus the heavier, wider side. It does make a difference. So, what I'm bringing to you in this Master Series is content, instructional information that has never been presented before in the history of our game. I hope that your mind is fertile enough, is ready enough to receive this information, because I can tell you it will be vitally important to your game going forward. It will help you to move forward by leaps and bounds. You know, if you keep aligning to center by putting your tip in the middle of the two edges, then you're engaged in this age-old instructional practice of putting your eyes behind the center and moving straight in. Pro 1, done correctly, executed correctly, allows you to align to the half ball. So I've shared with you a little bit of a technique that I use when I'm using Pro 1. All it does is it solidifies Pro 1. It makes it stronger. So You can embellish what it is that you do with Pro One by just adding this bit of insurance into your alignment to the half ball solution for your shots. Thank you very much.